Welcome everybody. Joseph Ramirez here. Happy holidays. Been a long time. I know it's been pretty busy. And then there's been several delays with um the casual play. I know with Brian being sick and things like that. We haven't had a lot of times to actually play some games or record games and things like that. So definitely do apologize. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful holiday season with Thanksgiving and then Christmas just right around the corner, New Year's as well. Um, did want to give you a little um, deck tech profile. Mm, Deck I've been playing with a little bit. Hopefully, you'll see it on the blog. Um, Kind of give you an idea out of the box thinking, little different deck than what I see currently getting played as far as what we call quote unquote meta and things like the Gridiron Deck and turnover deck and um, hand control, action deck, things like that. So a lot of fun things out of this 2021 set, and one of the new ideas I wanted to bring to you guys, and just kind of give you a little something different. So without further ado, call this particular deck Rain, Sleet, or Snow. We came to see Joe. You'll see um, the thought process behind this. So first off, starting with the deck is you play Solo General. So Solo General, as long as I only have one QB, I gain an additional 10 yards on each successful offensive play. So pretty important to give you the extra 10 yards there on all of my successful plays. You'll see in a second. So who is the Solo General? Well, it's none other than 2021 Russell Wilson, who says, exhaust, search your deck for a power-up or gridiron card, reveal it, put it in your hand. If you do, discard a non-play card from your hand. Exhaust only at the end of the play. So obviously, for obvious reasons, you can go search out your gridiron cards or power-ups that you need, and you'll see the ones that we'll be searching for in a minute. Josh Lambo, kicker, bench, discard a non-play card from your hand, choose a grit value, determine grit, and if you choose correctly, take possession of the ball on the 50-yard line. Otherwise, your opponent takes the ball at the 50-yard line. You can activate this ability only at the end of the play in which you scored a touchdown or field goal. This ability can only use once per game. Justin Tucker, everyone knows the original kicker of 2020, benched, increased the range of a field goal by +2. Young Ho Koo, kicker, bench, choose a 3-number range, determine grit. If the grit is within the chosen range, your touchdown's worth 8. Otherwise, your touchdown's only worth 6. Activate this ability only at the end of the play in which you scored a touchdown. So all bench abilities, triple kicker. And then Jack Fox, punter, bench ability. Increase the grit value of your punt by +3. If the grit value would be over 9, it's 9 instead. So it gives you the field control here for what you want to do. All bench abilities except for Russ. So essentially, you'll kind of see why that is. Now on to the defense. We got 2021 Devin White. Exhaust, return a card from your discard pile to your hand. Do not draw an action card at the end of the down. Exhaust only at the end of the play. Original 2019 Luke Kuechly. Exhaust, search action deck for an action card. Reveal it. Put it into your hand. If you do, discard an action card. Devin McCourty. Search your deck for a power-up or gridiron card. Reveal it. Put it in your hand. If you do, discard a non-play card from your hand. Exhaust only at the end of the play. So he's the defensive version of Russell Wilson. Fred Warner, exhaust. You may remove a power-up, gridiron, or superstar card on the field from the field, exhaust only at the end of the play. This guy's very flex. We could probably take him out, but I'll kind of explain some of the things I would do in a second. Calais Campbell, exhaust, draw 2 cards, discard 1, one in your hand, exhaust only at the start of down or end of the play. Just solid player. The other change that you could make instead of Russell Wilson is you could also play Josh Allen, 2021, who says exhaust. You can pick up a card, an action card from your discard pile back into your hand. And I'll tell you the differences in the two, or the bonuses of either or, because both of them are very good in their own right. Russell's very good for early game, consistency. If you go first on offense, you obviously go get your key card, put it into play, and you're golden. And so there's that for you. Let me go ahead and show you guys the action deck. That way you guys can kind of see what we're doing. So double fatigue, double outperform, double not this Sunday, 1 miraculous play and 1 circuit breaker, 2 not on this field, 2 juke, 2 read the defense, gridiron cards, 2 open air stadium, 2 crowd noise, and 2 freezing rain. So the essential idea behind the deck is to get your freezing rain. And so this is the key card of the deck. All players on the field or that come onto the field are exhausted unless they are unaffected. They may not be energized while this card is on the field unless they are unaffected. And when this card leaves the field, energize all players. So essentially what you do is you freezing rain. That way everyone's exhausted. That's why on offense you play nothing but bench abilities. They'll still be active. You don't have to exhaust them. They continuously happen. And then from there, what you do is read the defense. And so with read the defense and solo general, you can play a short pass, which is only 20 yards, guaranteed hit. Then it turns into 40 yards. So essentially 2 of those short passes will get you in the end zone. And so if you go first and you score, it's hard for your opponent to actually do things if their abilities aren't there because of the fact that they're sideways and they don't have no ability. So if you read the defense, it says if the attached player is the only quarterback on the field, each successful play gains an additional 10 yards. So with my successful plays, I'm gaining an extra 20. So then you're grinding out your opponent on who can pick the better plays, better play calling, and you're playing safe plays to be able to make just guaranteed yards. So in this particular case, that's what you essentially do. And so juke was one of my go-to things that, like, well, if I have read the defense solo general and a juke, that's 30 yards, makes a short pass go like 50 yards. One of the reasons why I ended up having it be 3 kickers is honestly, I wanted it to be I wanted to play juke, and I also wanted to play triple take or triple play. And so that there was 3 of a kind I could play. It's essentially another juke. But I technically didn't find room for it in the action deck. You kind of need to play fatigue in case your opponent gets rid of your freezing rain. It turns off their whole piece on the next play. So essentially they go clean slate, or even like a stadium to put in their own, or even they put in their own weather card, which blows it up. You untap everybody, and then prior to selecting play, you just fatigue them, and then they go down sideways anyway. So then it lets you recoup your freezing rain when you get it back, or when you can get it back. That way, you're basically keeping the momentum. The other option I could take out was like outperform. I definitely don't need circuit breaker, so I could have put in one triple play there, or you can just add it. It's not really going to kill you a whole lot. You've got a lot of draw, a lot of actions, but you really want to keep it tight because you want to make sure that your freezing rain gets to be put in your hand, and not only that, you sorry about that. Know what happened. So not only do you not want your freezing rain to go away, but you want to be able to search it quickly. And the other part is if they do find a way, because essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to get rid of this card pretty much the game. And if they're able to get rid of two of them, you're able to actually go back through the deck, recycle them on defense. You can thing like Devin White to bring them back or stuff like that. But you want to drain through this very quickly because if you pull like an open air stadium, you can reshuffle your graveyard or your discard pile and then play open air stadium to go fetch freezing rain. And so your whole idea is to do that. This is very unique, but I will end up sharing the current play deck that I actually have for this, only to show you guys kind of what the idea is. It can be changed, it can be modified. I have a few different ideas that you can actually run the playbook on, but this is a very heavy 70-30 pass to run ratio. And what's going to be cool about this is this unique play. So a lot of times you'll see myself or other people actually opt to do the other unique plays with X, X either grit or on the play. And the reason for that is because it's such a great defensive card. However, in this particular deck, it doesn't need to be. The fact that it's all runs is great, but the more so on this, if I played this on offense, is that run reverse is very, very hard to stop unless unless they have a run reverse, they're not going to stop this card. And so this is pretty much guaranteed yards. If they don't have an all runs or something that would stop run reverse. So they basically, you could just play this and then 9 plus whatever it is just guaranteed yardage. So that plus my read the defense and solo general is going to up that number. So it's very solid. It's only one of the ideas that I would actually use this particular unique play in this particular deck. Now, as far as the rest of the plays, let me get this together here for you so you guys can see. I run 2 run rights. And they're different run rights, 2021 C80, 2021 U181, and the reason is for the defensive play call. So 2 run rights, different strengths, but different play calls. So this one's a run left, run right. This one's a run middle, run right. And then run middle, short pass, run middle, and run left, run right. Run left with run left, run middle, and then run left with medium pass. And you do that to keep your defense balanced. So those are the only runs. So I run 6 runs plus your run reverse, so that's 7. And then we run a grand total of 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 total short passes. So we have seven total runs. I forgot I added the run reverse as a run. So anyways, got me thrown off. So we run all short passes and they are auto hit short passes. Okay. So if you look at it, we go short pass, defend short pass. Then we've got short pass, defends long pass. We've got short pass, defends middle right. We got short pass, defends left middle. we got 3 short pass into run left, run right. And then we've got 2 short pass into medium pass. So it well covers the ground, but you want short pass because this is an auto hit, and then your auto hit for 40. I didn't want to run a full heavy run deck because run decks can be stopped fairly easy because you can pick the defense picks, 2 defensive plays versus a short, medium, or long pass. But I wanted it to be an auto hit so you didn't have to really worry too much about like outperform and outthink and things like that. That is going to be the key into this matchup is like, oh, well, it's a successful outperform doesn't really do anything for me. And so it just sits as a dead card in their hand. And for the most part, I mean, you could probably use it on your runs, but for the most part, you just want to auto hit. And you're thinking, okay, so with 13 short passes, right? The defense is eventually going to know, well, this guy's going to go short pass, so I'm going to save my short passes. The problem is you only need 2 successful short passes to get in. So out of 4 downs, most balanced defenses aren't going to have 4 short passes to stop you. So you could just go short pass, get stopped, short pass, get stopped, short pass. I'm in 40 and 40. So that's a total of 80 yards, and that actually gets you into the end zone. So it's still a solid strategy. Right now, you can definitely still run it. People have to up their short passes up a little bit to kind of combat it. Like I said earlier, if this deck is definitely a tier 2 deck that will surprise a lot of people, and if you're not prepared for this, you will lose this game if you don't have things to combat the play deck for your short passes. I mean, there's just nothing you can do. If you don't have anything to deal with freezing rain, like if you don't have clean slates or you don't have a weather card of your own, and this just sits there all game, you are going to have a bad time because you are not going to see your players do absolutely anything. With all these great players that actually have amazing effects and amazing abilities, you are just not going to see them see the light of day and see any type of play. So something to definitely look out for. It's a little, I don't want to say it's a fun deck because it is definitely a skill level that I definitely wouldn't put it in a new player's hands. I did play test this deck with my buddy who doesn't play very often, but he stumbled upon the freezing rain. I was looking at freezing rain and saying, man, I really want an idea with freezing rain, but a lot of my ideas was like trying to work around things like Derwin James and then do Derwin James things with this, but Derwin James works better with snow than he does with freezing rain because after the first ability of Derwin James actually being like, okay, I can go ahead and do Derwin James things and then play this, and it would still work the first time, but then once this is already out, Derwin James comes in tapped and he doesn't get his effect, so it's like it wasn't very good. So however, my buddy was a real big Steelers fan, and he played an all Steelers deck, which was kind of put together to try, and we played a game, and he played freezing rain, and he played this obviously solo general because Ben Roethlisberger's on it, and we noticed like with Chase Claypool and stuff like that, he goes and digs this up, and they actually gain extra yards on
gridirons being on the field, but he ended up not using like any of that. It was essentially just here's my freezing rain, let me put it down, deal with it. I'm gonna gain an extra 10 plus that my play call, so I'm gonna just gain yardage. And then he pretty much in our gameplay, I didn't have anything that really messed with this freezing rain. I ran a weather card of my own, so I would have to play it, then I'd have to dig through. After he played another one, I'd have to dig through and try and get another one, and then play it. And it wasn't very good, considering like the only thing I played this, I played him, we built the deck, and then we said, okay, let's try and build it specifically to this. So after the Steeler game, we kind of put this together. And against the Gridiron deck doesn't have an answer for this because it doesn't play clean slates, and it doesn't and it plays a weather card. Um, but the thing with that deck is they put this on the field, then they play their weather, it blows this up, and then he plays another one, and it's like, okay, they have no way to go until they cycle. But when we played our game, we ended it at 14-14, and the biggest thing was um, freezing rain. When it got popped, I could, like with the gridiron deck, I had so many gridirons. I was like, okay, I'll just one shot. When this goes away, I score. And then by the time he replayed this, reset it up, I tapped down, but I had already scored, and then he would score. And then I would wait, several turns, pop freezing rain, then score on one play. And there's not a lot of decks that can actually do that. A lot of other decks. So that's the reason why we ended up putting in a fatigue, because the fatigue, once they pop that, just kind of does the same thing. So um, definitely a different take. There's a lot of tweaking you can do. We did drop initially the kicker, all kicker and punter idea to make it a little bit more stable. So like if you do play against those harder matchups that actually are prepared to um, kill this or kill that or anything like that, what you can do is you can say, okay, well, drop these and put in like Chase Claypool and other things that actually help. Kind of like the defense. The defense is pretty much set to reset up, re-grab all of your tools. Like if things don't work out and they kill that, you can actually Devin McCourty to go get freezing rain. You can Luke Kuechly to go get your not this Sundays and things like that. Calais Campbell, just good to resurface your hand. And then if they blow up your freezing rain, you can Devin White and just pull it back up from the discard pile and then play it again. So very, very resilient, very, very consistent. Haven't had many times where the deck doesn't do what it's supposed to. But definitely something that you have to contend with, because it's definitely a powerhouse in itself the way it works. So something to look out for. Hopefully, that gives you a different idea, a different look at deck building and kind of how decks can be built with this new set. Something as simple as as a freezing rain, bench abilities, or freezing rain solo general and read the defense. Hopefully that helps a lot of y'all with read the defense. Not needing to be most action power-ups, just kind of give that to the runner receiver to get an additional yards. And so this is just a static effect. And so it's something that I was looking at for things like Cam Newton, because Cam Newton says if there's a power up on the field, exhaust, he gains an extra 10. So it's like, oh, well, that's 20 yards right there. But if you look at Solo General in this alone, you're like, yeah, that's an extra 20 yards, period. That's something you can go to take to the drawing board and say, all right, well, I like this idea. Let's run with it, build a deck that way. So something to look out for, but hopefully, you guys enjoyed the deck. And hopefully we get to see a deck profile on Panini's website on the blog as soon as it comes back. Hope to see you guys at the next free play. Until next time, you guys have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You guys have a great one.